It's Left 4 Dead in VR. It's the best game ever! Oh my god, there are so many zombies whether you're playing on Quest, PC VR, PS VR. It's still the same amount of zombies. It's amazing! Is it though? Like, is it? Is it the best game ever? Can you guys see this? Oh, come on! Ah, come on, hurry up and load! Hi, my name is Matt and welcome to my VR life. Today I'm going to be reviewing After the Fall, and oh man have I been waiting for this game. I have been waiting for so long. Does it live up to the hype? Yes? No? Well, to be honest, this game is like Marmite. You are going to love it, or God Christ, you are going to hate it. It really depends what you're after. Let's dive in. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So quickly, just before we start with the good and the bad points for the review, let me give you a really quick brief of the game. You're in 1980s LA that's been frozen to high hell, and there are fast icy zombies trying to bite you, enough to turn you into a human-sized popsicle. Now, they're not called zombies, they're called snowbreeders, but they're zombies. Now there's 5 levels, they aren't also called levels, they're called harvests, but they're levels. And they all progress steadily in difficulty and in size of the maps. They all include hordes, and I mean hordes of enemies, and a big bad boss guy at the end. A big bad boss? I'm sticking with it. A big bad boss guy at the end. He also comes with a huge horde of enemies, the biggest one you're ever going to see it to that point, that just comes along for shits and giggles. Now, you can play with either 3 AIs or 3 real people online, which is definitely more fun. And finally, you can buy new weapons and upgrade them, but we'll talk more about that later on. So, in a nutshell, that's the game. So, firstly, let's go through all the good bits. I mean, it really is, guys, truly insane the amount of enemies they've managed to get on the screen. But even when you're playing online, there's not a hiccup of lag or stutter, and you could be on your Quest 2, someone else could be on the PS VR, someone else could be on PC VR. How they've done it is beyond me. I have no idea, but they have. And it leads to one of the best bits, which is utter chaos sometimes and pure panic when you're screaming as you hear dead man's click from your guns as you forgot to reload and you're getting swarmed by enemies. It is pretty epic. This is single-handedly the best part of the game, in my opinion. Another great aspect of the game is the RPG elements, where you can upgrade and buy better weapons as you progress. You will 100% need them as well, you know, the better weapons or the upgrades if you're trying the harder difficulty settings. Otherwise, you're gonna die, boy. You're gonna freeze like a human ice cube holding a shitty piss powered gun, cry for your mama to give you some cash for an upgrade, and I have no idea why I just went to that accent. I apologize. Don't even know what it was supposed to be. Anyway, the actual ability to upgrade multiple different aspects of each weapon is amazing, and I really love that. And it sort of, well, it gives you a gradual but almost continual aim for your next grind for the next few levels, which leads me to the next point, which could be a positive or a negative, you know, depending on the type of game and gameplay that you like. See, right, if you love grinding the same levels over and over and over just to get enough money to buy the super duper max plus rocket launcher 3000, just so you have the smallest chance of killing the last swarm of icy zombie scum and the ultimate badass boss, then you are going to love this game. Otherwise, you're probably going to like it for the first few run-throughs like I did, and there's 5 levels to run through at first, remember? And you're going to love that, and then you're probably going to get a little bit bored. Now, I do know, before people who are diehard fans of this game start screaming at me, I know there's going to be updates that will be coming with new levels to play and so on, so all being well, there's going to be more variety. Now, continuing on the grind front for a second, I need to talk about the reloading. You see, because you've got 2 options, which I really like, actually. They've given you different options. The first one is the arcade-style quick one, which you're probably going to use, if I'm honest. It's one I use. Where when you run out of ammo in your magazine, you just press A, and then you bring the gun to your chest, and you reload it. Job done. The other one is more realistic, where you have to eject the cartridge and reload yourself. Now, this is a lot harder in a blind panic, And that could also be your bag, and that could be really fun. The good part about this is, though, it gives you 50% more loot, which means you get to have to do a lot less grinding, like a lot less. The loot, by the way, just so you know, are these glowy orange things. So this 50% is a huge boost that you get extra. And so if you don't want to keep grinding the levels quite as many times, this might be your bag. Now let's get to the parts that some people just aren't going to like me saying, because it's going to be kind of be me slating the game. It's the bad stuff. Firstly, there is literally zero storyline. So if you're after that, when you hear that the game's set in a post-apocalyptic 1980s LA where you're fighting hordes of the snowbreed, aka zombies, to save mankind, and you think that sounds amazing, like an amazing storyline could be had with integral characters, well, go somewhere else. This is purely a shooter. Basically, if you are someone like me who likes to play 99% of games solo and enjoy taking your time and exploring all aspects of the game, well, to be honest guys, this one probably isn't for you. Now I do realise, however, if you just want a shooter to play with friends and have a blast and jump in and out whenever you want, then this probably isn't a bad point, it's probably a good point. But in my own personal opinion, the lack of story really hurts it. Now the next issue I have is the enemies. Now there's a few different types of enemies, but in general it all just feels the same. Like every level has different architecture for sure and different map layout, but it all feels exactly the same. Now this might just be me, but by the time I played through the first 5 harvest runs, I felt like I had deja vu. You know, there was never a worry about ammo, even though there's hordes of enemies, hordes of zombies. You always seem to have plenty, and I don't understand, like, well, I do understand. I know it's not a survival horror like Resident Evil, right? It's a shoot 'em up. But it was literally just a case of how fast could I pull the trigger over and over and over and over and over and over to make sure I could kill all the zombies. I could also just stand near the purple unlimited ammo boxes for the final boss fights, and then you have unlimited ammo. Basically, look, all I'm saying is, I would have just liked a little bit more thought for tactics and ammo conservation on some level. Like imagine screaming to your teammates that you've got no ammo left, and out of the other 3 teammates, another one says, well, I've got none left either, and then 2 are scrambling around whilst killing hordes of zombies, chucking you ammo for you to try and catch, to be able to put back in your pistol to fire and kill the last few, like instead of just turning and shooting the purple box that has unlimited ammo in it for the 50th time. Like, I get it, they might have had to change the gameplay slightly, and that's not what this game's about, but for me that would have just been so much more fun, especially with your mates that you're hopefully going to play this with. That would have been so much more fun to have some form of ammo conservation. Not a lot, I'm not saying I want to have ammo conservation all the way through it, because it's a shooter, but just a little worry maybe, just sometimes maybe the last final swarm, instead of having unlimited ammo, you've got a couple of the green boxes that you get to shoot, which gives you some ammo, and if you run out, then you run out, and then you've got to be a bit more tactical about it. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, let me know in the comments, but I think that would have been great. Now finally, onto my biggest 2 annoyances. First is the loading time, and the second issue is getting stuck on goddamn doorways. I mean, how is this happening in a AAA title? It is so annoying, I don't get it. Now back to the loading times gripe which I just had. I'm going to finish the video after my conclusion in a second. And I'm going to basically do YouTube suicide. That's why I'm doing it at the end of the video. Because in YouTube, you're not supposed to have even a boring couple of seconds. Well, I'm going to have a boring 15 to 20 seconds. So at the end of this video, when I finish talking to you, please watch and you will see how long the loading times are. It drives me insane. So anyway, back to me in the room, giving you my conclusion. Hi. So I've just introduced myself. That's confusing. The conclusion, like I've just said to you, and I'm saying again now. My conclusion. I said this game's like Marmite at the beginning, right? You're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. So what did I think myself? Well, you've probably got the gist that I'm kind of more on the hate side now. I loved it at the beginning. Don't get me wrong, this game's amazing. I was incredibly impressed with how many enemies they had flying towards you and so on, and how smooth and crisp all that side was. But I can't get over the loading times, and I can't get over the fact that you can get stuck in doorways and so on, and I'm sure they can patch that, and that's great. but it's all the same. It all felt the same to me. The first few levels were incredible, then I was like, nah, I'm just going to get bored of this game. And I did. By the 5th level, the first time I played the 5th level, it was new to me, right? The 5th level was new, but I knew what was coming, and the great points, like I've said, the RPG elements, and the pure panic and the chaos that can happen is really, really fun. But it, like I've just said, I'm repeating myself, it's too samey. So for me, it's a pass, which I'm really gutted about because I wanted to absolutely adore this game. And I just don't, which is frustrating. And I'm sure I'm going to get lots of hate in the comments because tons of people do. If it was like, if you could do a trial run and play a couple of levels for a couple of quid, be amazing. And maybe in the future it will be when they get loads more extra content. And to be honest, you might still love it. If you love like Quake-style games, or Left 4 Dead, I know everyone's compared it to Left 4 Dead, I did at the beginning, but you get the point. If you like those types of games, then this is going to be great for you. But if you don't, you get a bit bored, it gets a bit samey, then you want to give this one a pass. So I'm sorry if I've hurt some people's feelings and people don't like that review, but that's my honest review. And I'm always going to be honest to you guys on the channel. So now I'm going to leave you be with YouTube Suicide, which is, like I say, sort of 15, 20 odd seconds worth of boringness. But if you want to know how long the loading pages are, the loading times before you get it, it doesn't seem like a big thing, but it's infuriating. So you're going to see the loading time, and then the fact that every goddamn time you load up the game, you have to recalibrate where you're standing and your gun holstering. It's annoying. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching the review. Any questions, any comments, put down below. Thumbs up will be great and helpful. The subscribe will be amazing. I want to get to 100, but I'm not even at 20 yet, so thanks. Bye.